33,000 shutter clicks. This one destroyed my entire life. Downtown Manhattan, a gathering. I thought this photo would change the world. Zara Cohen, news photographer. My camera isn't a tool, it's part of me. I got it. Cop raises his baton. But the next day, the photo never ran. My editor said the photo was too blurry.
That's impossible. I checked every frame.
I said it's unusable.
I called my editor's assistant, a scared intern named Alan.
They cropped out the girl's face. Only the cop is left.
That moment, I heard my own teeth grinding. I stormed into his office, threw the negative on his desk, Daniel Stern.
News isn't truth, it's a story. And my story, readers love it.
You think you captured truth? No, your photo is the truth you chose.
You're already lying. You just don't know it yet.
24 hours. Pull the photo, apologize, or I'll show you the truth.
Or what?
Yelling doesn't work. Evidence does. And I'm going to make it talk.
24 hours passed. Nothing happened. The next morning, the newspaper released a statement.
Long-term investing thing on me. No hearing. A check. 3 months of severance. Just enough to keep my mouth shut. But I wasn't going to just to explain. But I would make them listen. I walked to the newspaper office one last time to look them in the eye. The HR director was a woman in her 50s. She looked at me with complicated eyes. A termination letter. A check for 3 months. Nothing more. Zara, you've offended people you shouldn't have. He altered the truth. And you know it. She knew, but she couldn't do anything. I don't want your money. I know, but I'm powerless. I turned and walked away. No shouting, just silence. The hallway was long. The lights were bright. My shadow stretched behind me like a ghost. I didn't look back, but I remembered every face, every single one. I walked out into the gray afternoon. No one followed me. No one called my name. I was unemployed, blacklisted, alone. But I still had my camera, and I still had the truth. That night, I pulled the curtains shut, turned off the lights, lay on the bed staring at the ceiling. My mom called. I didn't pick up. She knew something was wrong. Moms always know. I didn't cry for what I lost. I cried for the girl in the photo. My camera had 33,000 clicks. It was worn and broken, but it was still mine, and it's still garbage. But one caught my eye. Digital image authentication. A course on how to spot fake photos. I didn't know how they got my email, but I decided to go. Not because I wanted to learn, because I didn't want to die in this apartment, because the girl's face was still erased, and someone had to bring it back. The first month after losing my job, I pulled the curtain shut, turned off the lights, lay on the bed staring at the ceiling. My mom called, asked if I was okay. I said yes. She said, "You never close the curtains." I looked up. She was right. Mom always knows. Day 37.
Zara, I know you're not okay, but rent can't wait.
Just swipe it. He left. The room went dark again. I lay back down, stared at the ceiling. I sat up, opened my laptop. The screen light was the only light in the room. Hundreds of emails, mostly garbage, job reactions, spam, a course on digital image authentication. Then I saw it. One didn't know how they got my email. Maybe from a former colleague, maybe just spam. But I decided to go, not because I wanted to learn, because I didn't want to die in this apartment. The course was an old warehouse in Brooklyn, peeling walls, defty windows, but I didn't care. I sat in the back, silent, didn't look at there how to make friends. The teacher was Victor, 60s, grayed hair, link glasses.
A photo can be altered, but every lie leaves a fingerprint on the negative.
I looked up. Something in those words hit me like a punch to the gut.
This photo won an award. It's a composite. The face is from one person, the body from another. Can you find the flaw?
I stared at the screen. Something was off. I could feel it. The light angle between the neck and the shoulder, a 5-degree difference.
What's your name?
Zara Cohen.
Zara, your eyes are good.
Not good eyes. Just been lied to.
He didn't ask any more questions. He didn't need to. He understood.
3 months. I practically lived in that warehouse, learned everything I could. Pixel-level forgery detection, light consistency analysis, metadata extraction. I learned it all. I learned to calculate light angles, to extract a meta, to find the GPS coordinates embedded in a photo. Victor would turn off the lights at midnight. He'd see me still there, every single night.
You should rest.
I can't sleep.
Why?
Because I've seen the truth get erased, and I couldn't stop it.
Then you'll be the one to bring it back.
Graduation day. Victor pulled me aside. He had something to say.
Zara, you're the most talented student I've ever had.
Not talent. Anger.
Anger fades. Technique doesn't. Your skills are your weapon. Don't let anger destroy them.
I nodded. He patted my shoulder. Then he was gone. I rented a small office in Queens, near the airport. First client, an insurance investigator. He suspected fake accident photos. 2 different locations, same cloud pattern, sent it to the lawyer. 2 weeks later, I'd Ursan Fiant arrived, not from Dave's Picky Thousand Trud, you saved Desmond Trio Pete Force. More cases came, but the one photo I really wanted to analyze, I kept it locked away, waiting. I'm waiting for the right moment. And it will come.
Daniel Stern was Gazilla's editor-in-chief. Daniel Stern was newspaper Another Zelazam Mord, and the altered photo, buried by time.
No one remembered that rainy night. No one remembered the girl, except me. 2 years later, a morning like any other. Then the phone rang.
Zara Cohen speaking.
Ms. Cohen, this is the legal counsel for the New York Gazette. We need you as an expert witness.
What case?
Editor Daniel Stern is being sued for defamation. A photo he published is allegedly a composite. We need you to authenticate it.
I froze. Daniel Stern, the man who destroyed my career. Now he needed me. I'm not cheap.
That's not a problem. I about working serious times.
I need the original negative, uncompressed raw format.
It will be provided.
I hung up, sat in silence. My hands were still shaking, but not from fear. For finally, I laughed, not because it was funny, because after 2 years of waiting, the chance had finally. The original negative of that rainy night, the girls, the blood, the rain, I had kept it safe, hidden, and I could bring the truth to light. The evidence had been sleeping. Now it was time to wake it up. I plugged it in, the folder opened, and there it was. The girl, the blood, the truth. I looked at her face, 20 years old, eyes closed, blood run. No, her pain had been erased. I'm gonna bring your face back. And truth to prove. I didn't sleep that night. I worked through it with NK, then through the next day. The evidence was there. I just had to find it. 3 months of 18-hour days. I learned more than I ever thought possible.
You're ready, Zara.
I'm not sure I'm ready.
You're the best student I've ever had. Your eyes see what others miss.
Not talent. Anger. Anger at what they took from me. From that girl. Anger will fade.
But technique stays. Technique's your weapon. Don't let anger destroy it.
He patted my shoulder again. Then he walked away. I never saw him again. But his words stayed with me. The planes were loud, but the rent was cheap. I rented a small office in Queens. Painted the walls dark gray. No sunlight. No distractions. Just me and the photos. No clients. No referrals. Just an empty room and a skill I wasn't sure anyone needed. But I had something no one else had. I knew what it felt like to have the truth this man. My first view how to get it back. I didn't even have a website yet. Zara Cohen Image Forensics.
I'm with Allspotty Insurance. I need a photo authenticated. Can you help?
That's what I do. Send me the files.
First case, a car accident claim. 2 photos from different locations, different times, but the clouds were identical. Found you. I wrote the report, attached the comparison charts, sent it before dawn. 2 weeks later, a check of $2,000. He wrote, you saved us $500,000. This wasn't about the money. It was about something bigger. I had stopped a lie, and that felt like revenge. One down, but the big one is still waiting. The rainy night photo, still locked away, still waiting, but the wait was almost over. First official client, an insurance investigator. He sent me 2 photos from a multi-million-dollar claim. Something felt off. 2 different locations, 2 different times, but the clouds, exactly the same. Nature doesn't repeat clouds. I wrote a 30-page report, attached side-by-side comparisons. The conclusion was clear. The photos were composites. I sent the report. Then I waited. That was the hardest part. 2 weeks later, the phone rang. I almost didn't pick up. Hello?
Miss Cohen, this is Mark from Malsport. The insurance company accepted your reclaim. The Cusatin withdrew us $500,000.
A lot of money.
We're sending you a check for $2,000, and we'd like to add you to our approved vendor list.
I hung up, sat there for a long time. $2,000 and something else. Respect. First one, not the last. I opened the safe, not to take the photo out, just to check. It was still there. It was still waiting. All of it, locked inside this little black box, waiting for the right moment. Soon. I promise. The doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone.
Sign here.
The check came faster than I expected. $2,000. And a note. You saved us $500,000. I cried, not because of the money, because for the first time in 2 years, someone got back to work. There were more lies to catch. More cases came. Insurance fraud, divorce disputes, criminal trials. I became their nightmare. Child custody case. A father claimed the mother was unfit, but the photo he submitted, the shadows Guffer didn't match. I wrote my report, a Manicuve assault page. The security camera footage was the only evidence, but something was wrong with the timestamp. The timestamp was edited. The video was spliced. I worked through the night. Through the weekends, through the holidays. Every fake photo I caught felt like a small revenge.
Zara Cohen?
Ms. Cohen, this is David from the DA's office. The defense attorney is calling you the photo detective.
Photo detective, I like that.
We have another case for you, a homicide. The suspect says the surveillance video was tampered with.
Send me the files. I'll find the truth. Homicide case. A life on the line. The pressure was different now, but the method was the same. Every case I solved brought me closer. Closer to the day I would open that safe and finally expose the lie that started it all. The news came on, and I heard a name I hadn't heard in years. Daniel Stern. Still at the Gazette. Still famous. Still lying. And no one remembered the girl. Not yet. But soon. Then one morning, I opened my inbox, and there it was. The email that would change everything. Finally. The wait was over. The rainy night photo was coming out, and Daniel Stern was going to face the truth. Daniel Stern, still at the Gazette, still famous, still lying, and no one remembered the girl. Not yet, It's soon.
Then one morning, I opened my inbox, and there it was, the email that would change everything.
Finally.
The wait was over. The rainy night photo was coming out, and Daniel Stern was going to face the truth.
The phone rang, a number I didn't recognize. I almost let it go to voicemail.
Zara Cohen?
Ms. Cohen, this is the legal counsel for the New York Gazette.
The New York Gazette, the newspaper that fired me, that erased the girl's face, that protected Daniel Stern.
What can I do for you?
Editor-in-Chief Daniel Stern is being sued for defamation. A photo he published is alleged to be a composite. We need you as an expert witness.
Daniel Stern. The name hit me like a slap. 2 years. 2 years of waiting, and now he needed me. I'm not cheap.
That's not a problem.
I need the original negative raw format, no exceptions.
It will be provided.
Then I accept. I hung up, sat there for a long time. My heart was pounding. I laughed, not because it was funny, because after 2 years of waiting, the chance had finally come. The windows were sealed, the walls were dark gray. I had built this cave for myself, to wait, and now the waiting was over. I'm sorry it took so long, but I'm gonna make it right. I started working, not for the money, not for revenge, for her, for the girl whose face was erased, for the truth.
The photo was from the Gazette's exclusive. A politician kissing a woman who wasn't his wife, published the night before the election. This is the photo that his career, but he said he was never there. I saw it immediately, the white edge around his ear, the classic sign of a bad cutout. I extracted the Mehmet the Times said 2 a.m., but the club securities had a 5-degree difference from the background. Same face, different light, impossible in a real photo. Background depth of fusion didn't match. 2 different photos merged into one. At least 3 different source images. I worked for 48 hours straight, didn't sleep, didn't eat, just analyzed, just wrote. 30 pages of analysis, every detail documented, every inconsistency highlighted, and one final sentence. That's it. That's the truth.
I encrypted the report, sent it to the lawyer. Then I waited. Not for the storm, for the trial. The lawyer said the trial would be in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I had waited 2 years. I could wait 3 more weeks. The original rainy night photo was still in there, still waiting. But soon, both photos would see the light of day. The fake one and the real one. Zara Cohen.
Ms. Cohen, I represent Daniel Stern personally. Your testimony could destroy his
He should have
career.
thought about that before he altered the truth.
He wants to talk to you, man to man. Just one.
There's nothing to talk about. See you in court. I hung up. My hands were steady. No shaking this time. I was ready. The phone rang again. Not the newspaper's lawyer, Daniel's personal attorney.
Ms. Cohen, you know your testimony will destroy
You
a
mean
man's
Daniel?
career. Everything he did for the paper.
Everything he did for himself. The line went quiet. He was choosing his next words carefully.
He wants to talk to you.
Nothing to talk about. See you in court. I hung up. No hesitation. No second thoughts. He made his choice 2 years ago. Now I'm making mine. I stood by the window, the one I had sealed shut 2 years ago. No light came in, but I could still see. I thought about what my life would have been if he hadn't betrayed me. Maybe happier, maybe simpler, maybe more naive, but not stronger. The strength I have now, he gave it to me. Not because he wanted to, because he forced me to find it. Thank you. I sat there for a long time, not thinking about him, thinking about the girl, the one whose face he erased. I wasn't doing this I was doing it for the person whose truth got cropped out. I opened my report, 30 pages of evidence, the light angles, the metadata, the white edges around his ear, every fingerprint. The conclusion was simple. 1 line, sent it to the prosecutor's office. Then I waited. Not waiting for the storm, waiting for the trial, because the storm had already passed 2 years ago, and I had survived. From outside, the sound of planes taking up landing, one after another. Life goes on, even when you're waiting for justice. The negative doesn't lie, and neither do I. Day of the trial, a courtroom with marble walls and a high ceiling, full of reporters, lawyers, supporters. Daniel sat at the defendant's table, 2 years older, hair thinning, dark circles under his eyes. He wouldn't look at me. He looked at the desk, at his lawyer, at the judge, anywhere but at me.
Ms. Cohen, please state your professional qualifications.
2 independent image of experience, certified by the New York Institute of Visual Science, accredited by the American Board of Forensic Document Examiners.
And what is your conclusion regarding the photo in question?
The photo is a composite. The politician's face was extracted from another image, is a third photo. Light condition is inconsistent, obvious composite edges.
The gallery erupted in whispers, people exchanging looks. The jury leaned forward. Daniel lowered his head. His shoulders dropped. He knew what was coming.
Your Honor, I submit this report as evidence.
Accepted.
I walked to the screen, turned on my analysis, and showed the jury exactly what Daniel had done. The white edge around his ear, the 5-degree light mismatch, the metadata time-time conflict, every fingerprint exposed.
Objection! The witness conclusion has no scientific basis.
Your Honor, Ms. Cohen's report includes detailed technical analysis, pixel level comparison, light angle calculations, metadata extraction. I move to admit these as exhibits.
Overruled. The exhibits are admitted.
I zoomed in. The white edge was crystal clear. Anyone could see it. The light angle, red line from the face, blue line from the background, a 5-degree difference, impossible in a real photo. Matabata said 2 a.m. Club security footage showed him leaving at 1 a.m. The photo was a lie.
The jurors stared at the screen. Some frowned. Some shook their heads. One woman put her hand over her mouth.
Ms. Cohen, do you harbor personal bias against the defendant due to your past relationship?
I had a personal relationship with the defendant. That ended. I do not let personal feelings affect my professional judgment.
Can you prove that?
Yes, because during the same period, I also did forensics for the Gazette's defense. Their photo was accused of being fake. I proved it was real. If I had bias, I wouldn't have helped them.
The lawyer sat down. He had nothing left. The jury had seen enough.
Can you prove that?
Yes, because during the same period, I also did forensics for the Gazette's defense. Their photo was accused of being fake. I proved it was real. If I had bias, I wouldn't have helped them.
The lawyer sat down. He had nothing left. The jury had seen enough.
Order in the court.
Daniel Stern didn't just fake this one photo. During his tenure at the Gazette, he systematically altered news photos to create sensational effects.
The courtroom erupted. Journalists typed furiously. The judge frowned.
Ms. Cohen, do you have evidence of this?
Yes. I kept the original negatives from that rainy night.
Objection! This is irrelevant to the current case.
Overruled. The evidence is relevant to the witness credibility. Proceed.
I handed over the hard drive, the one I had kept locked away for 2 years, the original and the altered version. Side by side, the difference was shocking.
The jurors gasped. One woman covered her eyes. A man clenched his fist. Daniel lowered his head. His shoulders began to shake. He didn't look up again.
I looked at him, the man I once loved, just a man who erased a girl's face. I felt nothing, just the weight of the truth.
Daniel lowered his head. His shoulders began to shake. He didn't look up again.
I looked at him, the man I once loved, just a man who erased a girl's face. I felt nothing, just the weight of the truth. The trial ended. I walked out of the courthouse. The sun was so bright I had to squint.
Ms. Cohen, you exposed your ex-boyfriend's lies. How do you feel?
My feeling is, the truth finally came out, not because of me, because someone finally asked. It should have been asked a long time ago. He stopped when he passed me, didn't look at me.
Zara, you win.
Not winning. Correcting.
Correcting what?
Correcting the mistake you made.
He walked away. The police car door closed, and he was gone.
No satisfaction. No sadness. Just over.
1 week later, Daniel's license was revoked. The Gazette was fined. A public apology was issued.
You're welcome. I just did what I had to do.
Zara, why did you choose to expose your ex-boyfriend? It wasn't a choice. It was a duty. The first principle of photojournalism is truth. He violated that principle. As a journalist, I had an obligation to point it out. Aren't you afraid of retaliation? I've already been retaliated against. He got me fired, blacklisted, but I survived. And someone who survived, not afraid to die again. The audience applauded. Cameras flashed. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Zara, 10 interview requests, 5 magazine offers, 3 book deals. I'm not interested in being famous. They called me the truth hunter, the photo detective. I didn't ask for any of it. But if being famous meant I could help more people spot fake photos, then I'd use it. I want to start a workshop. Teach young photographers how to spot manipulation. Call it The Negative Doesn't Lie. And that's exactly what I did. First workshop. 30 people showed up. Students, young photographers, anyone who wanted to learn. This is my photo. It was later altered, changed into something completely different. I don't know if you'll ever face the same thing, but if you do, I want you to think about what you promised the moment you pressed the shooter.
The room was silent. You could hear a pin drop. Zara, do you regret it?
Regret what?
Regret pressing the shutter that night.
No, because her eyes are closed, but she saw the truth. The girl in the photo. I never learned her name, but her face stayed with me. Every single day. I hung the photo on the wall, a reminder, for them, for me. Your photo might change the world, but first, it has to be real. They didn't clap, they just nodded. That was better than applause. Class dismissed, same time next week. Bring a photo you think is real. Look, the camera automatically corrected the colors. This isn't what your eyes saw.
Then what do I do? That cameras aren't perfect.
Admit that technology has limits. And admit that your photo is just your perspective, not God's. Truth isn't absolute, but honesty, that's a choice. He wrote it down, word for word. I hoped he'd remember.
This is my grandmother when she was young. She passed away last year.
The photo is real. But what about your memory?
I miss her.
Photos can't think for you. They just remind you. The real memory is here.
She wrote me a letter after class. I understand now. Photos aren't truth. The truth is that I still remember her.
Zara, I want to learn image forensics.
Why?
Because I've seen your cases. Photos can lie. I'm going to be a criminal defense lawyer. I don't want to get fooled by fake evidence.
You're not a photographer.
I'm a lawyer. Lawyers need to understand evidence too.
All right. Wednesdays at 7. Don't be late.
Marcus learned fast. Faster than the photography students. He had a hunger for it.
This is me and my dad. He died 5 years ago. It's the only photo I have left.
You want me to authenticate it?
I want to know if it's real.
It's real. Film scan, no alterations.
Thank you.
You just needed confirmation.
Zara, will you ever shoot news again?
Yes.
When?
When the news is worth shooting.
Isn't it worth it now?
It is. But I need to teach you how to see first. Once you see clearly, you'll go shoot it yourselves. I'm old.
You're not old.
My heart is old, but it's still beating. The workshop grew from 30 to 50 students, from a small office to a community center. I didn't charge a cent. This wasn't a business, it was a mission. The negative doesn't lie. 1 year later, the workshop grew from 30 to 50 students. My small office couldn't hold them anymore.
We moved to the community center. The rent is symbolic. My daughter is a journalism student in Florida. If you can teach one student well, my daughter will have more honest colleagues.
I'll do my best. I don't just teach technique, I teach ethics. Technique can be taught, ethics can only be absorbed.
Can a photo really change the world?
I don't know. But if you don't try, it definitely won't. They nodded. They wrote it down. I hoped they'd remember. My first column for the weekly paper. A reader submitted a photo of a UFO over New York. The photo was blurry. The shape was strange. But my job wasn't to believe, it was to verify. I zoomed in, analyzed the light source, checked the shadows, looked at the pixel distribution.
The light matched. The shadows made sense. But the edge blur told a different story. Shutter speed was too slow. The object was moving fast. Too fast for a UFO. A bird. Just a bird flying across the frame. The slow shutter made it look like a saucer. I wrote the column. Conclusion in one line. This is a bird. Shutter speed too slow. Case closed. A week later, the letters came. Dozens of them. Readers were not happy.
You ruined our fantasy. We wanted to believe it was aliens.
Fantasy doesn't need photos to prove it. Truth does.
This one says, thank you. My son believed in UFOs so much he stopped doing his homework. Now he's back to studying.
I kept that letter, not because I was proud, because it reminded me why facts matter.
Next one. A ghost in a haunted house.
This time it wasn't a UFO feast on a ghost. It was a car accident claim. The cloud pattern was a repeat. 2 different accidents, 2 different cities, same cloud pattern. Nature doesn't repeat clouds. The insurance company saved $500,000 because of this analysis. My job went to jail. The story fingerprints are harder to find than the reason, but they're always there, waiting. I promised myself. Every fake I catch brings me one step closer to justice for her. The UFO believers were disappointed. The fraudster was caught, and I went home. Another day, another truth told. The sky was clear. No UFOs, no ghosts, just stars. And the truth.
One day, an elderly woman came to the workshop. She wasn't a photographer, not a journalist, just an ordinary person. She sat in the back, silent, taking notes. Every word I said, she wrote down. During the break, while everyone else got coffee, she stayed in her seat. I walked over.
Why are you here?
Because I've been lied to by a photo. When my husband passed, the funeral home gave me a photo of him, a composite. They smoothed out his face, made him look not like himself.
You should have complained.
I did. They did nothing. So I came here to learn, so I can see for myself.
You will learn, I promise.
3 months. She came to every class, took notes, asked questions, and then one night she stayed late. She learned to spot the composite edges, the light mismatches, the pixel irregularities. Then she learned to see the fingerprint. She's art at the screen for a long time. The photo is a composite. It's not my husband's face.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to sue them.
This evidence is solid. We can win.
For the first time in months, she smiled. A real smile. Hope. The funeral home settled. They paid her compensation. Not a huge amount, but that wasn't the point.
My husband's face finally came back.
He was always there. She stood in the sunlight, took a deep breath, and for the first time in a long time, she looked at peace.
Thank you, Zara.
No. Thank you. For not giving up. I sat there for a long time, thinking about the old woman, thinking about the girl in the photo. This is why. For every face that got cromed out, for every truth that got erased, we bring them back. The phone rang. I didn't recognize the number, but I picked up anyway. Zara Cohen speaking.
Ms. Cohen, this is Daniel's attorney. He wants to see you.
Why?
He's sick. Pancreatic cancer. Stage 4.
I didn't say anything for a long time. The silence stretched. I could hear my own heartbeat. Which hospital?
Mount Samai.
I'll think about it. I hung up, walked to the window I had sealed shut 2 years ago. Stood there for a long time. I hated him for destroying my career, for erasing that girl's face. But now, I don't hate him anymore. Hating someone is exhausting. I'd rather spend my energy on the living. I found an old photo. Us, years ago. Before everything. Before the lies. Before the betrayal. That man is gone. He died the moment he cropped that girl's face. I'll go. Not for him. For me. To close the door. Tomorrow, I would go to the hospital, and I would say goodbye. Not to the man he became, but to the memory of who he was. That night, I didn't pull the curtains. For the first time in 2 years, I let the moonlight in. I thought about the girl, about the old woman, about all the people whose truths I had helped bring back. That was what mattered. Not revenge. Restoration. I walked into the hospital room. He was lying there, thin, pale, tubes everywhere. Nothing like the man I once knew.
Zara, you came. I wanted to say sorry.
You wanted to see I'm here.
Not for the trial, for what I did to you back then.
You didn't do it to me. You did it to her. The girl. Her face got cropped out. Her pain got erased.
Who was she?
I don't know. I just know her forehead was bleeding.
Zara, I'm dying. I want to leave with an apology.
What is your apology worth?
Nothing. But I wanted to say it.
Are you done? I walked to the door. Then I stopped. Daniel, I forgive you. Not for you. For me. Unforgiveness is exhausting. I didn't wait for his answer. The door closed behind me. The beeping of the heart monitor followed me down the hall. I walked out of the hospital. The sun was setting. I took a deep breath. The air smelled like autumn. I didn't feel relief. I didn't feel sadness. I just felt done. I got in my car, sat there for a moment, then I started the engine and drove. I went back to the workshop. The photo of that rainy night was still on the wall. I came back for them, still trying to tell the truth. The negative doesn't lie. Neither are still do I, and neither will they. Daniel died 3 days later. I went to the funeral, not because he deserved it, because I wanted to see who else would come. His family, a few old colleagues, his lawyer. No one cried. The priest didn't mention the fraud, didn't mention the altered photo, didn't mention the girl. He said Daniel was a talented editor, that his passion for journalism inspired many. Nothing about the truth. The funeral ended. I walked out of the cemetery. The sun came out from behind the clouds. I took a deep breath. The air smelled like grass, like soil, like being alive.
Are you sad?
No.
He was your ex-boyfriend.
Yes, but he stopped being that a long time ago.
The moment I found out he altered that photo, the moment I saw that check, the moment I walked into that courtroom, he stopped being anyone I cared about. So when he died, I couldn't cry, because I had already cried in those dark months when I lost everything. I drove back to the city. The workshop was waiting. The students were waiting.
You're not coming to the wake?
Life goes on. I already said goodbye. In the hospital. That was enough.
Zara, we should write everything down. A handbook.
Good idea. Not laws. Cases. Real examples.
I'll collect the cases.
I'll write them clean.
I'll do the layout. They worked for weeks. Every case was a photo that had been altered. Every story was a person who had been deceived.
We printed 1,000 copies, gave them away for free to journalism schools and photography clubs. Someone asked me, "Aren't you going to sell this?" I said, "No, this isn't business. This is education."
Zara, I want to learn photojournalism from you.
I don't teach photography. I teach how to see photos.
Then look at my photos. Are they real?
This isn't news. This is art. You adjusted the light. You chose the angle. You waited for the perfect moment. News doesn't wait. Go to the street, shoot 100 pictures. Don't wait for the perfect light. Don't pose anyone. Just capture what's there.
He went.
He came back 2 weeks later with 100 photos. Some were good, some were blurry, some were out of focus, but none of them were staged.
Now you understand.
I understand. Don't wait, don't edit, don't add or subtract.
Not enough. There's one more thing. Don't let anyone else change your photo.
I won't. I promise.
He left. I watched him go. Another one. Another truth teller in the making. The handbook wasn't a bestseller. It didn't need to be. It just needed to be read by the right people.
Marcus finished law school, became a criminal defense lawyer. His first case? A teenager accused of murder, framed by a fake surveillance video. This video is all they have. If it's fake, the kid walks.
That evening, Marcus came to my office. He brought the surveillance video. I could see the hope in his eyes.
The prosecution says this video proves Jackson was at the scene, but I think it's manipulated.
I plugged it in. The video loaded. Frame by frame, I began my analysis. The frame rate is inconsistent. Look at the shadow here. I zoomed in on the suspect's face. The edge was blurry, a white halo. Classic sign of a cutout. This is a composite. The person was pasted into the background.
Marcus stood up so fast, his chair nearly tipped over. He came around to look at the screen.
Are you sure?
Look at the shadow direction here. It changes between frames. That's impossible in a real video. I wrote the report, detailed every inconsistency. The frame rate, the edge artobotics, the shadow changes. This will get the charges dropped, or at least get the video thrown out.
The trial came faster than anyone expected. Marcus presented my report to the court. Your Honor, the defense submits a forensic analysis proving the video is a composite.
The witness is not a court-appointed as questionable.
Zara Cohen is a certified forensic image analyst. Her credentials are attached, and she has testified to a court. The prosecutor sat down. He had nothing left. The evidence was too strong. The judge took a long time to read my report. The courtroom was silent. You could hear a pin drop.
The video evidence is inadmissible due to proven manipulation. The charges against Jackson Reed are...
He hugged Marcus. For the first time in months, he was free. Jackson walked out of the courthouse with his mother. She was crying. He was smiling for the first time in a year.
Thank you. You saved my life.
No need. You live a good life. That's enough.
He walked away. I watched him go. Another life saved. Another truth told.
Zara, you're a hero.
Not a hero. An exhibit. The evidence speaks for itself. I just help it talk.
One afternoon, a man showed up at the workshop. 50s, gray hair, wrinkled face, worn-out jacket. He looked nervous.
I opened the door, and I recognized him immediately. Alan.
Zara, I want to say I'm sorry.
Come in.
He walked in, sat in the front row, looked around at the photos on the wall. The guilt on his face was heavy.
It was me who tore up the check. Not you. I did it.
It was you?
Yes. Daniel sent me with the termination letter. I tore the check. I thought you shouldn't take that money.
What happened to the money?
I returned it to the company. I couldn't keep it. I couldn't let them buy your silence.
Why did you help me?
Because I saw your photos. The ones you took before. They were real. They shouldn't be tainted.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, too. I should have come forward sooner, but I was scared.
You're here now. That's what matters.
22 years too late.
Not late. You're still here.
He looked at the photo on the wall. The girl, the blood, the rain. He didn't say anything else. He didn't need to.
I should go.
You're welcome anytime.
Walked away, looked back once. I waved, he nodded, and then he was gone. But this time, not with guilt, with peace. He walked away, looked back once. I waved, he nodded, and then he was gone. But this time, not with guilt, with peace. After Alan left, I sat at my desk. I opened a blank document. I didn't know what to write. I'll write the truth. All of it. I wrote about that rainy night, about the girl whose face was cropped out, about Daniel. I called the book The Negative, not an autobiography, a collection of cases. But it became my story, too. I sent the manuscript to a publisher.
This too real.
Real doesn't need decoration. Every case in this book happened. The book came out. It wasn't a bestseller at first, but people read it, and they wrote to me. That chapter was the hardest to write. Letters came from strangers. I've been cropped out, too, they wrote. Not their faces, their voices, their stories, their existence. You are not alone. I wrote back to every single one. Same words, every time. That's all they needed to hear. The book sat on the workshop shelf. Next to the handbook, next to the photo of the girl, next to the truth. The negative doesn't lie, neither do I, and now neither does this book. A few weeks after the book came out, my phone rang. It was Alan's daughter. I hadn't heard from her since the funeral. Hello? Her voice was trembling. She told me Alan had passed away, quietly, in his sleep. I'm so sorry. Before he left, he told me to give you something. I'm mailing it today. What is it? You'll know when you see it. Then she hung up. A few days later, a package arrived, long and flat, like it held a framed photo. Thank you. I opened it carefully. My hands were steady, but my heart was not. I turned it over, and I stopped breathing. It was the photo. The one from that rainy night. Enlarged. Framed. Perfect. There's a note.
The note said, Zara, your truth is here. Take good care of it.
22 years. He carried this guilt for 22 years.
I hung the photo on the wall, right next to the original negative. 2 copies of the same truth. One from me, one from Alan.
The negative doesn't lie. Neither did Alan. In the end. One morning, I was having coffee with Marcus when a news alert popped up on my phone. The Gazette is shutting down.
Print media is dying. It was only a matter of time.
Not just that, Daniel's case accelerated it. Readers lost trust, advertisers pulled out.
You're right. The truth has consequences.
Marcus found the image of the final issue. He handed me his phone. The front page had no photo. One word. After 127 years, just sorry. I didn't feel satisfied. I didn't feel victorious. I just felt tired. I don't need their apology. I need that girl to be seen. Her face was cropped out. Her pain was erased. The Gazette printed the lie, and now they say sorry. But she has been seen, on this wall, in this workshop, in the hearts of everyone who has looked at this photo.
So, you're not going to buy the final issue?
No, I don't need a newspaper tell me does I have the truth.
The Gazette died, but the truth didn't. It never does.
After Marcus left, I sat alone. The sun was setting. The photos on the wall glowed in the golden light. That girl's face will never be cropped out again. Not on my watch. I turned off the lights. The room went dark, but the photos still glowed in the twilight. The negative doesn't lie, and neither will I. That's enough. The Poltet's committee invited me to be a judge for the Photojournalism Award. I said yes, not because I wanted to give awards, because I wanted to see if anyone was still telling the truth. I looked at thousands of submissions. Great photos, moving photos, shocking photos, but I also saw retouching, staging, angle choices.
Zara, how do you judge these? Many are clearly staged.
I don't deduct points for staging. Photojournalism is never absolute objectivity. It's the photographer's choice, which moment to capture, which angle to use. But if they alter the content, if they add or remove something that was there, that's not perspective, that's lying. But if they alter the content, if they add or remove something that was there, that's not perspective, that's lying. I put that photo aside. Beautiful. The photographer had added a tear that wasn't there. The jury didn't notice, but I did. Then I found one. A photo of a protest, imperfect, grainy. The light was bad, but it was real. You could feel the tension. This one. This is honest. I voted for the honest one. It didn't win the grand prize, but it got honorable mention. The photographer wrote me a letter later. He said, "You taught me that was over. I walked out. Thank you." I thought about my workshop, about the young photographers I was teaching. They didn't need awards. They needed to know that honesty is enough. That's what I'll tell them. Your photo can be art, but first, it must be real. I came back to the workshop. They asked me what I learned. I said the world doesn't need more perfect photos. It needs more honest ones.
Did any of the winning photos have manipulation?
No, they were all real. Not perfect, but real. Remember, you don't need to win a prize to matter. You just need to tell the truth.
They wrote it down. They always did. Whether they'd remember, that was up to them. That's what I'm here for. The workshop continued, week after week, year after year, truth by truth. The negative doesn't lie. Neither do I. Neither will they.
A young photographer raised his hand. He had been coming to the workshop for months. His work was good, but he had a question that stopped me cold.
Zara, if my photo is going to be altered by someone else anyway, why should I even bother shooting?
I didn't answer right away. I thought about that rainy night, about the moment is the alterer's problem. Your job is to press the shutter. That's where your responsibility ends.
I think I understand.
A few weeks later, he was covering a protest. A cop pushed an old man to the flood. He raised his camera, and he shot. He burst into the workshop, phone in hand. His face was flushed. He could barely speak.
Zara, someone online said it's fake. They said I staged it.
Where's the original negative?
Right here. I kept it like you taught me.
It's real. You have the proof. Post it.
Thank you, Zara. You taught me this.
No, you did it yourself. I just gave you the tools. He posted the original negative. The accusations stopped. The truth won. And I thought, this is why I do this. One more truth teller. The photo became evidence. The young Quizarrest photographer sent me a message. Thank you for teaching him. I wrote back, he taught himself. I turned off the lights, walked home under the moon. The next generation key ready. They didn't need me anymore. That was the goal. The negative doesn't lie. Neither will they. I remembered the first day he walked in. Scared, unsure, carrying a cheap camera. Now he was a truth teller. I walked away. The workshop was still there, but it was no longer mine. It belonged to them now. One day, I got a call. The girl from that rainy night. Her name was Emily Lewis. She was 32 now. Married. A mother. She walked in, pushed a stroller. A little girl inside, maybe 1 year old. She was older now. Fuller face, shorter hair. But her eyes were the same. Are you Zora? Yes. And you're Emily. I want to thank you for that photo. Even though it never ran. A friend saw it on your camera. She told me about you. I remembered your name, Zara Cohen's. You remember? The scar is still here. Almost forgotten, but still here. Like the truth. Almost forgotten, but still here. How are you? How have you been? Good. Married. A child. I work at a legal aid center now. That night made me care about justice. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for shooting that night.
I took out my phone. I didn't think. I just raised it and pressed the shutter. Not news, not evidence, life.
Life needs to be recorded too. She walked away. I stood there for a long time. That girl whose face was almost erased was now a mother. The scar was still there, but so was she. I printed the photo, took it back to the workshop, hung it on the wall, right next to the negative from that rainy night, one in black and white, one in color. 2 photos, same person. One from the worst night of her life, one from a sunny afternoon years later, both true. Zara, who is this woman?
Someone I photographed a long time ago.
They didn't ask more. They didn't need to know her name. They just needed to see that truth has a face, and that face can heal. One night, after everyone left, I sat alone in the workshop. The moon was bright. The 2 photos glowed in the dark. One is pain, one is hope. Both are real. 2 photos, side by side, one black and white, one color, one from a night of blood and rain, one from a sunny afternoon, both real. The woman in the white photo, but she saw the truth.
Zara, what's the story behind these 2 photos?
The same story, to make sure the pain is seen and the hope is possible. I taught that day about the power of truth, not just to expose lies, to heal, to restore, to bring back what was erased. After everyone left, I stayed. I often did. The old woman. The photos seemed to watch over memory. They all left marks on my kind of negative. Not pissed camera negative. Not light. No lens. Just a heart. I turned off the lights. The room went dark. But the 2 photos still glowed in the moonlight. I looked back one last time. The girl. The mother. The pain. The hope. Both real. Both necessary. I walked home under the moon. The workshop was closed. But the truth was still there. On the warts of those who had seen it. Zara, is that the same person? Yes. And that's why we never give up. Because pain can become hope. This photo was on almost erased, but it wasn't, because someone kept the negative, because someone told the truth. They did in this photo, they just looked, and I could see it in their eyes, like a steps wins. Truth isn't up to them and decide, it has a face.
Because every face deserves to be seen.
Because every truth deserves to be told. The negative doesn't lie, neither will they.
10 years. The workshop had been running for a decade. I was 52 now, gray hair, hands a little shaky, but my eyes were still sharp.
Happy anniversary, Zara.
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Zara, this is my student. He wants to learn from you.
What's your name?
Nate, I want to learn image forensics.
You're not studying law?
I am, but I want to learn both, like Marcus, like you. We cut the cake, laughed, cried, told stories.
Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. Don't be late.
The ones who had joined later, all of them. Family.
Morris was gone. Margaret was gone. But their photos were still on the wall. Kneading dough, smiling, eating cake. My grandmother used to say, photos are the same as around too, not the shape. Marcus brought Nate to me. He's ready, he said. I looked at the boy who looked at me, and I saw myself 20 years ago. Welcome, Nate. Let's get to work. To the next 10 years, and to every truth we haven't found it. The party ended. Everyone went home. I stayed, like I always did. I sat there for a long time, looking at the photos, remembering the faces, the truths. I turned off the lights, locked the door, walked home under the moons did. The negative doesn't lie. Neither do I. Neither will they. Nate learned fast, faster than I did. He had a natural talent for technology, pixel-level analysis.
The software says light angle calculations.
Metadata extraction. He mastered them all. What does your gut say?
My gut? I trust the data. The data doesn't lie.
Data. If you don't trust tool, it's believed, but truth, you'll miss the fingerprints that software can't see.
But the light angles match. The metadata is
Look at the reflection in the eye. Software didn't catch that, but you can.
I see it. There's someone reflected, someone who shouldn't be there.
Intuition is experience, is time cache technique. You'll get there.
Weeks later, Nate was analyzing a photo alone. Software said it was clean, but something felt
Zara,
wrong.
you were right. My gut told me to check the shadow eye composite edge.
You found it, not the software. You.
I finally understand what you meant.
No, you understood it yourself. I just pointed the way.
Nate sat there for a long time, staring at the evidence. He had found his first fingerprint, his first truth.
Zara, I wrote my first report. It's ready.
Good. You're a real send it. Forensic analyst now.
Thank you, Zara, for everything.
Don't thank me. Thank yourself. And keep trusting your gut.
I will.
One day, I gathered everyone. I told them I was retiring. Not because I was tired, because it was time to let go. I'm handing the workshop to Nate, the forensic cases to Marcus. I'm moving to the coast.
Zara, are you sure?
I'm sure. It's time for new blood. I bought a small house by the sea, big windows. I could see the ocean from every room. I stopped taking pictures. I just watched. Every morning, I watched the sunrise. Every evening, the sunset. The ocean doesn't lie. Waves come and go. Real-erect enough that no shutter is needed. It was from Walked Allen's daughter. I placed the letter on a rock. Let the waves take it. Not as a discard, as a farewell. Goodbye, Alan. Goodbye, Daniel. Goodbye to my old self. I walked back to the house, made a cup of tea, sat by the window. The ocean was still there. It always would be, like the truth. Complete. My Nikon D850, 300,000 clicks, worn down, but I couldn't throw it away. It had walked too many roads with me. I didn't need to shoot anymore. I had shot enough. Watch the sunset. The truth didn't need my far away. It just needed to be seen. The workshop was in good hands. Somewhere, the truth was in good hands. That was all I ever wanted. I closed my eyes, listened to the waves, felt the salt in the air. This was peace. This was enough. That night, I slept better than I had in years. No nightmares, no regrets. Just the sound of the ocean. Every morning, the same sunrise. Every evening, the same sunset. The ocean didn't change. Neither did the truth. The negative doesn't lie. Neither do I.
One morning, I picked up my Not D850 again. 300,000 clicks. The shutter button was worn down, but I couldn't throw it away. It had walked the longest roads with me, captured the hardest truths. Now it was time. I pressed the click. This was what a part one. I looked at Nguyen, the ocean, the sky, took a few seagulls. No filters, no cropping, no lies.
The negative doesn't lie. Neither do I. And that's where I leave you, at the edge of the ocean, where the only thing that matters is what's real. I held the camera one last time, then I put it down, on the rock, let the sun warm it. 33,000 clicks, each one a promise, to record the truth. I kept that promise. I didn't need it anymore. The truth didn't need a camera. It just needed someone to care. The negative doesn't lie. The truth doesn't fade. And neither will they. The next generation, carrying the torch, telling the truth, one photo at a time. I sat by the window, watched the waves, thought about everything and nothing. It was perfect. To the truth. Always. The ocean doesn't lie. The waves come and go. The truth remains. The negative doesn't lie. Zara Cohen. Photographer. Truth teller. Teacher. Survivor. Neither should you. The end.